Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another wonderful week of Sunday Shuffle. We are on Sunday Shuffle 7 now. So we kind of got a bit of a history going, I guess. But starting off, our first match on stream is going to be Sargely versus Airy, which both these players did pretty good last week. I believe both of them making top 8. And we got to see, I guess, a little bit of Airy's spirit go up against Sargely, I think, but not actually quite fighting them because I think Hubskoa was running Ares' deck. So now we get to see it actually happen. So I'm definitely really excited to see how this is going to turn out.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting because last tournament they dodged each other, even though they placed very closely in the top 8. So this is a matchup that we were a bit robbed of, but we will get to see now as Sargly, still running the Shuffler Supreme title, did win one of these tournaments. I think the second or third, so somewhere around there.
Yeah, one of the early ones, but now we're gonna get into it, and it looks like both players are kind of, I believe, playing similar decks, but Sargely gonna be taking the lead at the start here.
Yeah, so this Sargly deck is a classic, right? The combo potential is ridiculous, and we've seen crazy shield break punishes. The craziest one that was clipped last week, and quite a few people saw. But so far, nothing too big. Just consistent damage traded, and both these players, like you said, just very, very aggressive.
Now we just have both these players closing in around half HP now. Looks like Aries gonna be the one to get there first, and Sargely with a 30 damage combo there.
Yeah, a lot of damage right there as Airy goes for a starter, but gets actually hit by the Frost proc, and Sargly's so good at confirming on Frost hit stun. Look at that.
Yeah, and finishing off with a pull there to get that extra 2 damage to close out the game. Very nice work by Sargely.
Alright. More entangle attempted from Sargly, but Airy now going forward with Step Lance, and that card, so much payout, but not quite finding its mark. As Airy continues, gets a Javelin, gets a Step Lance. Okay, some big strings from Airy here to get the lead, but Sargly has a bunch of cards too, and a Shield Break, has a lot of cards in hand. That's 19 damage, a little bit more a counter, and not the end of the world, but that is so much damage.
Yeah, we've already seen what Sargely can do on a Shield Break, so Airy definitely got the did not get the worst of what they could have possibly gotten. But Sargely now with a pretty solid lead here, about 20 HP. So Airy going to be looking to find some hits in, and finds a little bit there with the auto slash push slash, but immediately losing it with the K wave into almost the world combo, but fortunately getting out.
Well, now it's time for Airy to find something, but getting interrupted by the K wave and interrupting Sargly this time. That could have been death, as okay, the Sparkler steps, but not quite. It's not getting started for Airy as another shield break comes through, but Sargly has no cards, so avoids death for now.
Yeah, unfortunately, Sargely not managing to get any punish off that shield break there, but does manage to close out the game without it. So now Sargely up 2 games, and we're gonna be looking at game 3 here. So Airy's definitely on the back ropes right now. We'll need to make some major adjustments. Otherwise, this will just be a clean sweep.
Yeah, and Sargly, I think, has just been very successful here against other faster playstyles, right? And just keeping up while Airy needs to land something. But I think the fact that Sargly has so many off-angle approaches that work out, right? With the Frost proc being the starter, and also so many cards that cover off angles, like right there, 28 damage off of that off-angle starter still, while a lot of decks do only have their real starters like in a line, and that difference is kind of paying off for Sargly here.
And I think another one of the issues that Airy's kind of running into here is that, like, Sargly, when Sargly lands their hits, you know, they just do more damage. You know, just there, 31 damage right off the bat. But when Airy's finding their hits, you know, they're kind of just stringing together like 15 damage combos. And when you're fighting a deck that can hit you for 30, you know, you're just very prone to getting outpaced in terms of damage. And I think that's what happened here, and why Airy definitely was struggling in this set.
Yeah, and we saw in the previous tournaments how good Airy is, but in this matchup, Sargly just felt like a higher damage Airy, also more aggressive and with more consistent starters from angles that weren't directly forward.
Yeah, definitely quite the fast set. So I think most of the matches pretty much still aren't complete yet, but we do have a few. So we have Cryo Crits winning their set over EPK 24. We have Gladiolus Dragon winning over how do I say that? Pereira? Pereira, I think.
Pereira. I think it's Pereira.
And we have Hubsco winning 3-1 over Tenebrae, who was, I believe, kind of popping off in the PMAT G tournament recently. So, but unfortunately getting shut down early by Hubsco. And then,
Whoa, A3-0 over Softlock.
oh wow, let me refresh my page. That didn't even show up for me yet. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Right, and let's see. Oh, it's over. Looking like they took a game off of Perp's Harissa. That's interesting. But yeah, in a tournament like this, I think a thing is that although the entrant count is less than last week, it does feel significantly more stacked, right? So these round twos are kind of like the early top 8 matches sometimes, it feels like.
Yeah, definitely. We didn't really have that many the higher leaderboard players like the alphas kind of entering. Last week we just had a couple, I think. I think it was just Sans and Icarus and maybe one other that I might be forgetting about. But this week, you know, we have Mikkel, we have Perp, you know, we have Icarus back. So definitely increasing the numbers right there. It's gonna be a little bit harder for them to win. Oh yeah, and we have Garden too. So that's 4 right off the bat. It's already kind of like twice what we had last week in terms of alpha numbers. So definitely not gonna be as easy as last week, although I guess last week still wasn't easy. We had 27, but it will be harder this week because the competition is much more tough, much more fierce. But who knows? I think Perp and Mikkel are still kind of like messing around a bit.
Yeah,
and not
just a bit.
Playing their strongest strategies.
I will say the last minute rule change does kind of help them out though, because now using the show decks off feature, you may start a set with any one of your deck's characters, etc. That's pretty big.
Yeah, so now when they if they happen to queue in or not queue in, they have to get matched into each other, then they won't have to like start off with whatever meme. I won't say meme, whatever strategy they're currently running for bracket. You know, that way when they fight each other, they can pull out their strongest one that they'll need.
Okay, and these sets are still going. Garden and Gladiolus Dragon Garden taking a 3-0. And moving on to Face Hubsco, which is the match we're going to see in just a second. Winner's quarters.
Yes, and we also have rifle / residential / Julie getting taken out early by Otaku Pirate. So we'll be starting in losers 3-1.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's going to be interesting because Rez is very, very good at this video game and has a very good chance of making it through that loser's bracket. So that path of losers is going to be quite scary. But Otaku Pirate, right, has top 8'd quite a few times, it feels like. And I think piloting the exact type of deck that Rez kind of hates.
Yeah, definitely. Those structures can definitely be quite an annoyance for a shopkeeper. You know, it's one of the reasons why she doesn't like the queen matchup as much, because you know those blocks can remove the traps for free. You know, and that kind of helps mitigate the upside of her having pretty much just infinite traps whenever she wants to. You know, the fact that your opponent can infinitely disarm them. And then also, just in general, just being able to use the block to kind of help zone Shopkeeper out of the front column is going to make it quite annoying for Shopkeeper to deal with that matchup sometimes. So, yeah, I can definitely see how Residential may have struggled in that matchup. And then Otaku Pirate just being very good and having just very good performance recently as well. So not the easiest opponent to run into round one.
Yep, and more results are coming in. Perp and Silver in a 2-2 situation right now. That's not what we were expecting.
Didn't Silver? I think in one of the recent tournaments, Silver actually beat Perp.
Oh.
So this might be a little dangerous for Perp right now, because I do believe that Silver did recently beat her.
Interesting.
I don't think it was on Shopkeeper, but whatever Perp is currently running, I believe that Silver did manage to get past that.
Well, we're heading into Upsco versus Garden.
Garden trying to plug their stream. I did see them start streaming like pretty much immediately as soon as the bracket started. All right.
Yo, what are your thoughts on this matchup? Because, you know, Hupsco plays very defensively, but Garden's Garden, you know?
Garden's very good at finding hits, I think. So, I think even with Hupsco's defense, I think Garden is going to be able to find the hits they need. They're just very good at that, in general. Just finding those hits, whether it be on angle, off angle, just like that, you know, finding those strings. So, even though Hupsco's defense is strong, I think Garden's offense is definitely strong enough to handle that.
And Hupsco already a little bit low, and using Vivisection in this flavor of the Hupsco deck, a card that Garden has a bit of a history with, right? And getting counter hit by it, and also the Sparkler. So if Hupsco can continue getting these counter hits, could probably bring this game a little bit back. But I guess can't really throw out a lot of cards raw as they've been doing against other players, because Garden is good enough to just not get hit.
Yeah, Hupsco definitely gonna need a bit more of a plan in order to land these spells, you know, because once you get to these stronger players, just like that, Spear Wave, no setup, just gets dodged. So if Hupsco wants to land some more meaningful hits, they're definitely gonna have to maybe throw in some weapons in there, do a little juking out.
Yeah, and even the Flame Breath doesn't really connect here, as once again the defense comes out, a little bit of chip damage for Hupscoa, but Garden's just not getting hit and just doing a little bit of damage each time, and this game is spiraling out of control. The chip damage is a little too much, a good parry, but the Vivisection will combo and finish the game.
Yeah, so now all the Vivisection lovers are gonna come tell me that this card is broken because Garden finished the game with it. I don't know. I'm still not much of a Vivisection believer, but Garden does seem to actually be able to use it quite well.
Yep. And Hupscoa now with the raw Spear Wave, but that is not connecting here. But good dodges, maintaining a health lead with some even more good dodges, not getting hit by the starters of Garden here. But it's still tough because Garden has plenty of cards to box with. The Shear does connect, and now Hupscoa, the game is even and trying to find something. And Neutral does find an inverter into Spear Wave that does get a little bit of damage.
And Hupscoa actually in the back there, kind of like using mashing dodge to avoid some of these, which is actually a tactic that we saw them do in the tournament last week when they had to fight Selkie. They would kind of stay in the back and, you know, try and react to Selkie invading and then dodge. But unfortunately, it looks like that will not be quite enough to avoid Garden's offense, as he found that 20 damager right there.
Yeah, but good damage by Hupscoa, and this game is looking a lot different, right? Hupscoa is keeping it close. Hupscoa is getting the simple confirms to constantly chip Garden down, and now with this health lead, with the inverter, trying to set up something with this Spear Wave, but getting caught by a huge Vivisection opening, and is at 11 health. That lead vanished in an instant, and Garden's next hit could kill.
the next combo from either of these players really is going to be what's going to take this game. So it's going to Upsco definitely sitting in the back right now, kind of just trying to poke Garden out, maybe trying to close it out with the Sparkler. But Garden coming in, unfortunately not hitting any of his attacks, and now just stuck with a lone crossfire. But that won't be enough damage. But I'm wrong. I'm wrong. It is. It's enough damage if he hits the weapon.
Wow.
And Garden taking the second game. Wow.
That was like just enough. Perfectly played by Garden, and now Hupsco needs to find something different, and I'm not sure if this Harissa is it, but it's definitely what he's going for.
Right, but Hupsco on the Harissa. Well, I'm definitely happy to see some more Harissa because she's a character that does not get played too much. And you know, especially by like the kind of stronger players, you know, not really that many of them touch her or like really main her. So I'm definitely at least happy to see some people pulling her out. But it looks like it's doing a little bit of work here as Hupsco. It does have a lead, although it is not big. But a lead is a lead nonetheless.
Yep. And now needs to find something here. A lot of poison in this deck, and actually does find a little bit of combo with the warp into weapon, it looks like. And now Hupsco in a much better spot, it feels like, as long as one opening can connect. But I think Garden's starting to figure out exactly the threat ranges that Hupsco is playing with and dealing his own damage back.
Yeah, Garden overall just being very good at landing these hits, but with a little bit of poison on him now. Unfortunately for him, I'm managing to get that off for free. But this is actually this hand right now is actually a little bit quite dangerous. You know, Harissa's very dangerous with invade because of the primer follow-ups. But it looks like and Hupsco getting a shield break right there. Unfortunately, running a bit short on mana before being able to fully optimize that damage, but still getting a fairly good amount.
Yeah, but fairly good. Won't cut it here. 9 health left, and Garden needs one opening, and Hupsco tries to read a hit step, but there is no hit step coming out from Garden there. And it's so even, but Garden has the cards. Hupsco with the blink away, continuing to warp away, not trying to get hit here. The Vivisection self-damage on Garden. This could be enough if Hupsco gets one opening here, has the spears, and that's it.
Yeah, Hupsco kind of just using the teleport to cover the front and back columns, and then using Spirit Wave to kind of, I guess, trying to catch Garden moving forward and maybe moving backwards, and I don't know, using that maybe as a little bit of extra mental stack to help it land. But wow, Garden just starting off pretty strong there with around a 20 damage combo. Definitely gonna be taking a lead in this game, but we know how quickly leads can disappear. Let's see if they keep it.
Yep, we'll have to see as Hupsco with a fresh hand looking to try and start something, but this game looks like all Garden. The early damage is coming through, the early combos are coming through. Spear Wave, though, from Hupsco, it does start a little bit of something, and the chip damage from the Harissa weapons are also coming in as Garden is trying to start, but Hupsco once again in the back column dodging and maybe able to bring something back if a combo can be landed here, but it's just shielded away. No Spear Wave for Hupsco, and once again Garden threatening the center.
And I'm now kind of just realizing the use of Toxicross, I believe, but unfortunately I think it's actually kind of gonna go against Spear Wave, you know, because trying to, or will it? No, it generates spears, right? I think.
I'm not the right person to ask for these types of things.
I'm pretty sure it generates spears, so I guess it won't go against the idea of Spear Wave. But I think that was all the spear generation they had, was just the Toxicross. But it does more poison the more spears you have. So when those spears are getting consumed by Spear Wave, it's not actually going to be applying that much poison ever. So a little bit of anti-synergy in there, I think, gonna be reducing the damage potential of that deck a bit. But yeah, unfortunately the Harissa not being enough. Garden will be taking this set 3-1 with the Selkie, and we'll be moving on.
Very well played by Garden. I think he saw like the clear adaptation in the final game, right? Where it was close, but then it kind of felt like Garden adjusted and it was no longer as close.
Yep, but let's look at these. Let's look at bracket now, and it looks like Mikkel is not trolling this tournament. He's playing Shizo. So we are going to get to see the full power Mikkel in play. Perp is on Harissa. They won that set 3-2 over Silver, so managing to move on to the winners quarters. And then Icarus winning that set. I think we already saw that though. They'll be up on stream next. And let's see, Tenebrae, not out. Airy already out. Lost their set to Pereira. And so Airy being out is actually kind of I guess a bit of an upset, right? But now we're gonna be taking a look here. So I think Icarus running kind of the same deck they were running last week, and then crap, who's this? This is
8th.
Oh, 8. Okay. I did not recognize it from the 8.
Yeah, another creative name from 8th, right, has had many Julius Eden tags in their lifetime, and this one is just reminiscent of 8 as an 8th, and of course clearing the back row because they have a bit of a distaste for Chiretta, but this is no Chiretta matchup. This is Icarus Diver, and we'll have to see if the eject does make 8th's life hard, or if 8th still has a deck that will function quite well without it.
Yeah, and I think the Quad Claws is actually probably going to be a bit annoying for 8th in this matchup because of the amount of like 3-mana spells that they're running. That's going to be making up a good amount of their damage. So getting hit by Quad Claws like that, just lost the Hyper Beam, you know? It's really gonna suck, and it's gonna heavily reduce the damage output of their rotation.
I will say though, the 8th's use of more consistent damage cards that they're just throwing out is doing wonders for them right now. They had quite a sizable lead, but that lead is shrinking as we speak, and maybe it's time for Icarus Diver to turn this one around, because as well as 8th is getting these frost procs, Icarus is getting the bigger damage openings, it feels like.
Yes, and Icarus managing to land a bit of a stray shear right there, slowly but surely closing the gap. Looking to land some more hits, unfortunately not being able to hit the backstab or the kunai. And 8th definitely going to be wanting to be landing something, just anything right now, because the gap is pretty much gone. And one more string from Icarus will close out this game.
Oh, but one more string not allowed to happen. The Hyper Beam comes in. 8th takes the first game. And this could be huge here, because 8th's already won over Softlock in this tournament. Could advance the winner side of top 8 with a victory here, but I'm confident Icarus will make a few adjustments here.
Yep, that's what these players are known for, you know. Typically, it's not that uncommon to see them lose the first game, but, you know, the second game is where the adaptation kicks in, and that's when you really find out. But it looks like 8th is still doing well, you know, keeping up. The game is pretty much even right now, so maybe that adaptation won't be enough for Icarus to be able to overcome 8th.
Yeah, throwing the strip mine out, and 8th gets hit by one hit, and a good counter hit, but Icarus is getting caught by a lot of frost procs, and if you're getting caught by a lot of frost procs against a deck like 8th's, there are so many ways to capitalize on that frost. Hyper Beam comes out, the shear not there to punish, and now it's really tough, right? Because that's the frost damage, and there's more frost to come as his hand starts up again, and Icarus can't find any starters.
Yep, but that frost damage slowly but surely chipping Icarus down. They're definitely not going to want to drag out this game too long, because you know, stuff like Snow Cone, stuff like Frost Barrage can be quite difficult to avoid, and then shielding also isn't an option, so you have to rely on a reaction dodge in order to avoid these spells. So Icarus definitely not going to be willing to play defense for too long, but looking to get a bit of a lead here right now, and pretty much just one string away again from closing out the game, one whirl away. But 8th is hanging on right now.
Yeah, good shield there, but that's a lot of poison stacks, and that's a lot of chip damage, and that's the frost proc, and 8th is within reach of this game, but 5 health is not a lot. The whirl leaves 8th at 1, and the shear will finish it off as Icarus takes game 2.
Alright, now we're going into game 3 with a bit of an interesting hand on 8th's side. You know, we got the Snow Cone, we got the Frost package all up front. Unfortunately, though, 8th missing a couple spells, managing to hit the Frost Barrage, so getting a little bit going there, but not too much. And meanwhile, Icarus, you know, already fully through one rotation, of his deck. So just having a very faster cycle in general, kind of allowing for a quicker damage output.
Well, now it's time for Icarus to really show the adaptation, right? Also taking away a bunch of Eighth's hand, and now Eighth doesn't have the damage to play with, and Icarus has so many cards, so many starters available. The shear doesn't connect, but this lead is overwhelming.
Yeah, you know, that quad clause really just it can really screw you over. You know, you just lose all your damage right there, and Icarus closing that out with the whirl into the push slash, showing off that just very convincing game. Just amazing adaptation right now from Icarus, and Eighth is definitely gonna need a game plan switch in order to get past this.
Yeah, it's gonna be difficult, but gets a little bit of damage there, but a great whirl into the last hits of the quad claws, and wow, I could not remember that name. And now it's in a lot of danger again, because again, this is the early Icarus offense getting one opening, and now Eighth's deck kind of sucks at a disadvantage because you can't like use time as your resource. You can't constantly chip away your opponent with the frost procs that are so easy to land. If you're 30 health behind, you need to find something big, and that is a little bit of something, but it's just so conditional.
Yeah, with Icarus kind of just being able to cycle faster, then also having quad claws in their deck, you know, this is definitely not a matchup where you want to be down in terms of HP, you know, because overcoming that lead is going to be an uphill battle for Eighth, and we can definitely see that here. You know, 2 HP left, Icarus still at 53, and that sheer going to be closing out this last game in the set. But yeah, you know, just the way that Eighth's deck is built, you know, with a lot of 3-mana spells that, you know, making up the majority of that damage that they're going to be dishing out, you know, just easily being able to be discarded by quad claws. And then also, you know, they just fall behind. You know, Icarus is rotating through their deck multiple times faster, being able to dish out more damage, and then every single time they rotate, also just having the chance to eject multiple of Eighth's cards.
Yeah, very well played the Eighth though, and also kind of interestingly, this is Eighth's chance to get another to try and break the 9th place curse, because Eighth has consistently gotten 9th place almost every single week, no matter how hard or easy the tournament is, because, you know, Sunday Shuffles, they kind of like swing between harder and easier depending on who enters, but no matter how hard or easy it is, Eighth has always gotten 9th place. Which is...
If they go out now, are they going to get 9th place?
Yeah, because Gladiolus Dragon is waiting here, and this could be Eighth getting 9th place yet again. But
come on, you do it. You can break into top 8. You gotta believe.
Yeah, this could also be Eighth breaking into top 8.
But yeah, this is gonna be Eighth pop off.
So Sargly, Eighth can't get 8th place because 8th place doesn't exist.
Oh my goodness. All right. But taking a look at this bracket right quick, looks like Perp gonna be taking a 3-1 over Otaku Pirates, so we're gonna be seeing them in top 8. Mickle, well, actually Mickle's already done with their sets. They haven't dropped a game just yet. So our top 8, still waiting on some of the losers games, but we're gonna have Mickle and Icarus Diver, and then Purple and Garden. We've definitely seen Purple and Garden before. I don't think we've seen Mickle and Icarus Diver though.
Oh yeah, it does feel like they haven't faced off, because Mickle and Perp didn't participate last week, right?
No, they did not. They did not participate. So we have not. And then Icarus hasn't really been participating for most of the Sunday Shuffles, I think, and it's now kind of just starting to show up in the more recent ones.
Yep. So it'll be interesting to see that these matchups, a lot of more unique ones here, as we're just waiting on Pereira and Cryocrits to finish up so we can see the winner of that, Pereira, taking it over Cryocrits here versus Otaku Pirates. in the final losers top 8 qualifier.
Okay, do we have we're just waiting on losers games?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just gonna watch Otaku Pirate Pereira and then go into top 8.
I see. Alright, cool.
It looks like Mikkel has taken a bit of a break because he knows it's a bit of a wait until top 8. I believe he is off playing Pokerogue, and on that topic, have you been playing Pokerogue?
Pokerogue? What is that?
It's like Pokemon, but it's a roguelite.
A roguelike? So like if you fail a gem you just like restart it?
If you lose a battle, you die.
Oh, okay.
But it's like it's browser based. It's like relatively recent. It was like 2 weeks ago that it released, and it's pretty chill. Pokerogue. In fact, I might do a run while waiting for this match to start. Kind of taking the world by storm. Holy, 10,700 players online. Anyway, yeah, technically Garden is a Sunday Shuffle rookie. It is Garden's first Sunday Shuffle. Well, this match is going to get started pretty soon. Lose top 12 Otaku Pirate versus Pereira.
Yep, and oh my goodness.
Have you seen Pereira?
No, I do not think I've seen them play.
Yeah, because we've seen a lot of Otaku Pirate, right? But not Pereira.
But I was just taking a look at the bracket, and it looks like Residential already out. Definitely a very early loss for them, based on like kind of just previous performances. So that's a bit of a surprise, but that's how it be sometimes.
Yeah, the losers bracket is not safe in these types of tournaments. Silver, the one who is now challenging Sargly, and is 2-0 up on Sargly right now. Sargly might be out at 9th too.
Oh no, Sargly gonna inherit the 8th curse. From now on, we'll only be placing 9th place. All right, but right here we're gonna have Shopkeeper and Hazel.
Oh yeah, this is what we kind of expect, right? This is what we like to see from Otaku Pirates. Again, it looks like Otaku Pirates deck hasn't really changed, and if they're used to it, I mean, like, why make the change, right? Because they're looking really comfortable here.
Yep, and we have seen Otaku Pirate in the Shopkeeper matchup before, I believe. So they're definitely quite experienced in fighting this. So I think Pereira is definitely not going to have the easiest of times landing meaningful hits, just because of that experience. Because we've seen, I don't know if we've seen this in Sunday Shuffle, but I've definitely seen Otaku Pirate and Residential go head to head before, and Otaku Pirate putting up a very, very good fight.
Yeah. And also of note, right, is that actually this is a bit of a different Otaku Pirate deck. There's the Ice Pick, and there's what was it again? The Homing Frost, whatever, Heat Seekers. There we go. And this is a little bit of a different flavor for Otaku Pirate. And also, on that note about being against Shopkeeper, Otaku Pirate did send Rez to the losers bracket in this tournament. So yeah, they're very, very practiced in this matchup.
Yeah, right now, talk about just a very solid lead. You know, Pereira really just struggling to find any kind of meaningful hits. You know, Otaku Pirate dodging the vortex and then landing that string right there with the bonk into the double team. But Pereira overall just not really being able to find any kind of meaningful hit necessary in order to in order to get some damage off. You know, Otaku Pirate just not really getting hit.
Yeah, and I think a big thing is also the fact that Pereira doesn't really have ways to consistently clear these boxes, right? So it's so hard to play around. And Otaku Pirate is kind of like trapping Pereira in a much narrower terrain.
Yeah, because a lot of shopkeepers, you know, they're usually running the 4-way combos, you know, the gravitas poke stuff. But those don't actually help them cover the area in front of them that much. So it kind of they typically tend to have really bad structure clear. You know, we look at this and their only options are pretty much just push slash minigun. Minigun really being the only valid option for trying to hit somebody who's hiding behind these structures. Because everything else is just blocked. You know, warp race is blocked. Push slash, you want to use it on that. So this is just going to be a very kind of long game for Pereira.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Let's see what adjustments they can make. But in this game, looking quite good, right? Getting the quad claws, getting the eject onto the Otaku Pirate, slowing down the momentum, and starting to set up with bombs here.
Yes, Pereira is managing to have a bit of a lead right now, so it looks like that adaptation is coming into play as they manage to find more hits against Otaku Pirate. At least whenever they can. Ooh, unfortunately going to be eating that SD turret though from the minigun proc. Very unfortunate, but then we got double bombs. Unfortunately, not going to be getting anything off of that, and now Otaku Pirate is slowly starting to even out the game.
Okay, Otaku Pirate, consistent damage coming through. The game is even now, but the bomb is a little bit scary. Pushed away by Otaku Pirate. No threat here as the warp rays are available. Trying to find a big opening is Pereira, but the vortex won't land. The wrenches will come through, and now it's getting really, really tough for Pereira here as Otaku Pirate is just hiding behind the boxes. The bomb does detonate, and there is a thunder, so it's still being kept very, very close though. It is so even.
Yeah, both players are pretty much neck and neck right here, both at lethal. So really, the next meaningful hit will be closing out this game. Almost that right there, but unfortunately Pereira pulling out the shield. But Otaku Pirate will find the ice pick in the back and take this game. And man, honestly, like I don't even know if it's possible for Pereira to win one of these matches in under 100 seconds, just because of the level of defense that they have to deal with.
Yeah, the structures are being placed very well by Otaku Pirates, the defensive Hazel play, and also when Otaku Pirate gets an opening, right, it's like at the very least 17 or something damage. Look at that. And that combo coming through for 24, and when Otaku Pirate has a lead, right, it is just so difficult for Pereira to get anything started.
Yeah, you know, just there's not really there's so many limited ways for Pereira to even be able to find a hit here, because everything's just getting blocked. Everything's just getting shut down by the structures, right? Warp rays, quad claws, you know, vortex just getting dodged. Just so Pereira not really having that many opportunities to even just find hits, and it's just gonna take them a while in order to get enough damage off to win these games. So like, I don't think that they could potentially win a quick game. I just don't think the damage is there.
Yeah, it's one of those decks that succeeds in the neutral, right? In neutral wins and consistent damage, but when you're against Otaku Pirate who isn't even getting hit by that, then you're slowly losing, as Otaku Pirate's the one getting a little bit more damage, and that's what we're seeing here. Pereira almost getting trapped there. It's a dangerous spot to be in, and a lot of frost procs charged up potentially for Otaku Pirate. The health is dwindling. The warp rays do get a bit of damage though, and maybe this is Pereira maybe bringing it back, but it's not going to be easy.
There certainly will not be easy for Pereira to kind of win this war of attrition right here, but right now, the game, you know, it's only a 10 HP difference right now, so it is still fairly close. Unfortunately for Pereira, gap widening a bit from that beam crystal, but it is not a lost cause just yet.
Yeah, it is not, but that is a scary opening. That could have killed if Otaku Pirate had more resources. A good parry, does not get hit by those cards, but 3 health remaining, and the frost proc will finish it off. Otaku Pirate advances to top 8.
Yeah, after watching this set, I think it's I am not surprised at all that Otaku Pirate managed to beat Residential 3-1 in a set, because this looks tough. This definitely looks very tough to get around for Shopkeeper. You know, you have a Hazel who is just overall one of the strongest, if not the strongest character in the game defensively, thanks to that block and the turrets. And then you have Otaku Pirate's defense on top of that. Meanwhile, Shopkeeper not having just meaningful structure clear, and then, you know, unfortunately Pereira not really building enough of it, and it's just gonna be tough. It's just gonna be a hard battle.
Yep, and now we're heading into top 8. So first off, we'll have Mikkel versus Icarus Diver, which is also a matchup we haven't really seen on stream, right?
No, we have not seen this on stream. I don't think have they even. I'm not even sure if they've even played in the same bracket before.
Wow.
Probably the first time we're seeing them in the same tournament, and also on stream. So this will definitely be interesting. Mikkel being a very strong player, I believe having Sunday Shuffle wins on their belt already, and then just overall just extremely well, extremely good tournament performance. Also winning the PMAT-G tournament recently, I think, and not even like I think they were playing Reva, so like they weren't even playing someone that they take seriously. And still winning, so kind of just showing off that level of skill. So this will not be an easy battle for Icarus, you know, considering that Mikkel is literally beaten like strong Reva players in a Reva Ditto, and you know he doesn't even play the character. So this will be interesting. But he's not running Reva today. He's running the Shizo, which is scarier. So we'll see how Icarus will get around this. Icarus is a very strong player, so they may be able to, you know, take down the Mikkel.
And I have bad news.
Uh-oh.
The 9th place curse is alive and well.
Oh no. No. Not again.
Unfortunately for 8th, top 8 is once again just one game out of reach, but still a very respectable placement, right? Getting a game off Icarus, beating soft block, and yeah, just making this bracket very, very interesting. But the person making this bracket the most interesting is probably Dark. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Darken Tease? I don't know, but
Oh, yeah, that's definitely interesting.
had quite the run. Soft block in losers round 1, and most recently Hubscoa in losers top 8 qualifier.
Yeah, Arkansas is being able to take out Hubscoa and kind of preventing them from making top 8. That is definitely a very interesting outcome in losers side. But yeah, I mean, it's not that often where we get to a top 8 in the Sunday Shuffle and then we don't see Hubsco or Residential making it. So I guess that kind of just competition is tough today, I guess.
Yep. Well, we're just waiting on Mikkel here. Interesting him again. And yeah, what are your thoughts on this matchup, right? Even though these two players haven't really played against each other.
So I'm pretty sure I already know what deck Mikkel is going to run. We know what Icarus is going to be running. But so first thing that kind of comes to mind is that I don't think that Mikkel's deck is going to be heavily affected by Quad Claws pretty much at all. Purely because they're playing a deck where pretty much the only card that matters too much for them landing is Entangle. So unless you eject that, they can just hit anything else off of that card. And then overall, there's just a lot of flexibility in terms of combos and combo routes with this deck, unless Mikkel pulls out Violette. So, or not. We're on the deck selection screen. It does look like they're playing Violette. All right. Well, I got mixed, so I can't give input now on the deck matchup because I don't know what he's playing.
Yep, we're heading right into it. And now his X revealed, and I think we've seen Mikkel play this before, right?
Yep, this is the pretty much standard Violette strip mine combo deck, you know, with the bomb package in there that all Violettes run. So honestly, I can't really say whether Icarus is better off fighting Mikkel's Violette or the Shizo. Both are just very hard fights. Because, you know, Mikkel just being very good with his character and being able to kind of just blow people up as soon as he lands a decent hit. So I think Icarus is definitely going to be kind of prone to getting just outpaced in terms of damage if both players are landing the same amount of hits, just because, you know, that's just Violette for you.
Yep. And currently Icarus, though, in the lead, right? And being able to clear these bombs pretty efficiently, not letting Mikkel get any good setup with them. So Mikkel's going to have to find some combos that aren't as with the bombs, because Icarus is really just not letting them be a threat.
Yeah, Reva being one of the few characters that actually has an option to get rid of those back column bombs, which can definitely be a bit of a problem for Violette. You know, being able to just throw out the Ricochet shield, letting it loop around, and then clearing the bombs back there. So definitely something that's very beneficial to Icarus. And then also, now that I think about it, Reva also kind of having a way to deal with this strip mine as well, right? Because of the invincibility on the dash.
Yeah, not having to worry nearly as much as Mikkel is low now. The Flame Breath comes out, trying to start something, because a combo with this bomb could do enough damage to bring this game all the way back, but Mikkel isn't quite finding the starters here. The defensive play from Icarus is really coming into play. Mikkel finally gets a world starter, gets a little bit of damage, and suddenly Icarus at 2 health, finished off by a weapon. Huge opening from Mikkel.
Yeah, don't you know that 30 HP is lethal when you're fighting Violette? But yeah, you know, 30 HP lead and then just death right there. That's kind of just how this character is, you know. When you have consistent high damage combos, even if you do have, you know, a fairly decent lead, you know, 30 HP, your opponent's at lethal, you can die. You know, you can die. That's just how these harder hitting characters work. So you always need to be careful.
Yeah, now it's getting very, very dangerous here, as Mikkel with the whirl, with a little bit of damage there, and covering with the Flame Breath as well, catching missiles step outwards. And wow, Mikkel just knowing the timing on so many cards, right? Stepping into whirl right as it ends, even while the animation's still there, and just building up a very sizable lead. Maybe the first game was just for warm-up, because this second game is looking dominant.
Yeah, definitely looking very, very much in Mikkel's favor. But Icarus managing to find some damage right there, unfortunately getting reversed by Mikkel for a little bit. But still managing to largely close the gap, you know? Oh no, the shield break!
Yeah, that shield break on the edge of the bomb is a little bit too much, and Mikkel now 2-0 up.
So yeah, Icarus definitely going to be wanting to avoid these strong starters. Ouch, 20 damage already right off the bat. And also looking like Icarus taking a bit more, putting in a bit more effort to disarm those bombs as well. Oh, the claw trap setting it up though.
Yep, 4 health on that bomb, looking very scary, as Mikkel has a lot of cards in hand, uses all of them. 18 damage cash out, and another big lead for Mikkel. And this lead's looking a little bit hard to overcome for Icarus here, as another bomb is a little bit prepped here. And that could be big damage in the world to cover the exit. This is just good offense from Mikkel, and Icarus just not being able to keep up.
Yeah, you know, Mikkel probably just kind of getting adjusted to Icarus's defense patterns and just being able to land those hits that he needs just a lot easier, more effectively, more often than in the first game. So, you know, I guess that really was just the warm-up. But definitely that was a very convincing set with in Mikkel's favor, and I definitely think we saw the kind of outpacing come into play where if they're landing the same amount of hits, then Mikkel is probably just going to win automatically. But we weren't even really seeing that. You know, Mikkel landing more hits and then also having the higher damage output, which is going to be very hard for Icarus. But Icarus not out yet, you know, still having the opportunity to make a comeback in the loser's run. So we haven't seen the end of them just yet, but we are going to be seeing Perp versus Garden.
Yep, Perp versus Garden, and what are your thoughts on this matchup, right? Garden, a bit of a, I think the Celsi player, but have these two played that much?
I have seen them play on multiple occasions. I've seen both of them win, so I think that they're probably both fairly close in terms of skill. But that was on, I think that was on Shopkeeper. I've seen Garden win against the Shopkeeper in the Shopkeeper matchup. And then maybe even not in the Shopkeeper matchup, I think I've seen them win. So, but still, you know, it is Perp. I think this could easily go either way. But with Perp kind of just playing a lot of different characters more recently, I'm not too sure how this is going to turn out, you know, because I haven't seen much of the Perp Harissa. Actually, I don't even think I've seen the Perp Harissa at all. So I guess we did see a little bit earlier Hubsco kind of getting a little bit further with Harissa than in the Saffron matchup. So who knows, maybe Harissa might be a little bit better for this.
Maybe. But the real question is, does she know that she could select Shopkeeper?
It's I guess, did you know that it is an option?
Also, is she listening to us right now? That is
I mean,
is also a question.
She's streaming, so probably not.
Oh right, Garden is streaming. So we can see what Garden is up to and not getting in the lobby for.
Oh yeah, what's Garden doing?
Let's see. Oh, Garden joined. Well.
Oh, there he is.
Well, we should be getting started in just a second, and Perp versus Garden for the 3 millionth time.
All right. And this is quite the interesting deck list on Perp's side. You know, we got the Sacrifier. We have Paragon. Paragon's actually pretty standard. But Beam Crystal and Verrier Sacrifier, this is definitely an interesting tactic that I don't think I've seen before. So I'm interested to see what sauce Perp is going to be pulling out.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see, because that Beam Crystal already feeling like it's gonna do a lot of work in this matchup. But a big opening, 24 damage found by Garden. Big lead suddenly as Perp is starting to try and play in the midfield a little bit, in the center of the screen, in the middle rows, and also just blinking away from a lot of Garden's offense here. And the Beam Crystal again, so good against the Vivisection.
Yeah, now you're pretty much just even game right here. Unfortunately, Garden not being able to find any of those pokes at the end of that cycle right there. Perp finding a little bit of poke herself, but oh, that's an interesting tactic, using the Sacrifier and the Beam Crystal to kind of cover 2 rows at once. But Garden not really falling for it that time though. But that could come in clutch in the future.
Yeah, that was actually really scary. I did not expect it to hit like that, but now Perp finding an opening of her own, and Garden's got to be a little bit careful here, because this health deficit could expand in just a second. A good parry means no damage taken by Perp, and this game slowly getting very scary, as once again trying to hit 2 rows at once is Perp.
Oh, unfortunately, Perp not being quite fully experienced with the Harissa roots just yet. Because that step lance can lead into that K wave. It's as someone who's fought Sholmina enough times, I know. So, but yeah, steps just in this matchup in general, and because oh no, the shield break. That's it. Oh no, that's not it. That's not it.
But it does bring the game all the way back, because all Garden needed was one opening, but Perp did not give it to him. And we're heading to game 2.
Yeah, Perp with the teleport hops right there. But we're going to be moving into game 2 now. It looks like Perp is going to find the first hit.
Yep, and the Perp's been pretty consistent with throwing out these Paragons, and it's been pretty scary. That card, it feels hard to hit, but it also feels hard to not get hit by, and Perp building up a bit of a sizable lead now.
Yeah, I will say, as someone who's been hit by Paragon enough times, that card doesn't miss, except when it does. But when you're fighting Paragon, it feels like it doesn't miss. So, you know, I can definitely see what you're talking about there. And ooh, looks like we had the little double beam setup right there. Fortunately, not getting any damage off of that, but it's nice to see.
Yeah, but this time it's Garden going in for a little bit of damage and continuing to try and find an opening here. Has some big damage in hand, right? Has the step slash and has that shear. Gets a little bit of it and brings the game all the way back to even, but Perp still dodging the bulk of the damage and making it hard for Garden to make the comeback. And once again, the Paragon is such an obstacle, and Perp is using these weapons quite well to start combos in the back row.
Yeah, that invade combined with the primer can literally just pull you from the back column to the front, and then where you can kind of get hit by a lot of things, right? By the K-Wave. Just like that, right there. Auto slash primer into the K-Wave, going to be closing out that second game. Pretty much just as I said it. But yeah, that's just one of the things, you know. Harissa has primer, which helps control the front columns, and then has the invade, which she can use to then pull you out of the back columns, you know. So it makes the character quite scary.
Oh, the kinetic wave actually interrupted the inverter there. Did you see that? That was an interaction that I am not familiar with, but Perp being in a huge lead right now. The early damage really coming into play, and once again the Paragon connects.
Yeah, Garden definitely gonna be looking to find some damage right here. Definitely having a nice hand right here with the step lance, not step lance, the step slash and the shear, and managing to find a bit of poke, but still, unfortunately, a little bit at an HP deficit. But just a couple more hits, and Garden can even out the game.
Oh, clearing away 2 beam crystals with 1 north wind, and now Garden trying to find something, but once again the Vivisection not allowed to come out. Perp continuing to interrupt, this time with the bouncing blade, dodging away from all of Garden's offense at the moment, and Perp continuing to just throw out so many scary cards. The weapons doing consistent damage, maybe even being a starter here as K-Wave and Bouncing Blade available. 2 cards fantastic at just being thrown out here, as Garden needs to be very careful in the front column.
Yeah, definitely very careful in the front column and in the back column as well. Very fortunately for Garden, not getting caught by that K-Wave there. Perp dropping the combo, but that could have been game if that had connected.
Oh, but a big interrupt with the North Wind. 5 health left on Perp. The blink back, and Garden will finish it off and continue this set.
So looks like Garden not quite finished just yet, and looks like Perp is immediately switching off, switching after 1 loss, kind of doing the Son strategy right now. Garden maybe gonna be able to get the full roulette, who knows? But I don't know if this will be easier or harder, honestly, because overall Selkie is kind of one of the characters that can actually ignore Shopkeeper a bit, thanks to the fact that they don't have to play on their side of the board as much, and Shopkeeper can't really do that much in front of her directly. But who knows? But does Perp usually run double team? Is this a different Shopkeeper deck?
I think it is a little different. Yeah, double team is not the card that we would expect here, and the same with the shear as well, right? This is a very different flavor.
Yeah, this is a variant of Shopkeeper with double team. I haven't seen this actually in quite a while. Most of them kind of just play the fishing deck. But it is nice to actually see some of the other Shopkeeper strategies. You know, good to see a bit of the spotlight. So I'm happy to see it.
Yeah, and now that shield break could be huge here. Big damage. But that cracked tile is actually what makes it a little awkward for Perp there. That could have almost been a kill.
Yeah, unfortunately for Perp, that broken tile right there actually kind of preventing them from getting the follow-up off of that kinetic wave into something greater. But regardless, Perp's still with a fairly sizable lead right now with 20 HP. And 1 combo will pretty much close it out. So Garden definitely not going to be wanting to get hit by any starters, because that will be the game ending.
Alright, now Perp looking for A little bit of that action here with the kinetic wave that would have killed, and the final hit of the inverter will catch Garden, and Perp goes to winners finals, 3-1.
Yeah, inverter, very, very, very good card. You know, it's one of those cards that one of the things I always say about this card is that, like, if you're not in melee range, inverter puts you in melee range. So it's kind of just very, very helpful. It's a very strong neutral card because of that, because, you know, it will pretty much always put your opponent in the range that you want them to be in if it does hit, right? And then it also, you know, it can combo, it's really fast. Just a very solid card right there, and we saw it putting in quite a bit of work in that set. But looks like winners finals is going to be Mikkel versus Perp. I mean, wonder how many times we've seen that so far.
Yeah.
But up next on stream, I believe, is going to be Silver and Gladiolus, right?
Yep. Silver and Gladiolus coming in, and I'm interested to see how Silver plays, right? Brought Perp to that game 5, and on the Reva, interesting.
So we got Silver on the Reva, and we got Gladiolus on Coretta. All right, so I'm definitely kind of interested to see how this is going to play out. I think I've seen Silver's deck before, but I don't think I have seen Gladiolus play just yet. I've actually fought Silver myself before in ranked, so I know they're strong. I know they like running that shield throw that other Ravens aren't typically running. But looking at Gladiolus, it looks like this is pretty much just... This looks pretty standard for kind of a Coretta combo deck. You know, you got the Triple Barrel, you got the Whirl, Thunder, Backstab. But deciding to opt for the Entangle, which is not something I always see on Coretta, so that is interesting.
Yeah, Entangle reminds me of Gret on the Coretta. Definitely a playstyle that is a little different from this deck, and Glad almost getting a huge starter there, but not quite. But I think we're already seeing the power of the Entangle here. Look at that, Entangle into the Suture, into the Triple Barrel, and now a Whirl for even more damage. Gladiolus looks very practiced on this Coretta deck.
Yeah, definitely. Already just taking a very solid lead right here, about a 40 HP lead. And, you know, when you're Coretta, you know, those leads... Big leads for Coretta are very important, you know, because this is not a character you want to be at a large HP deficit against, because all it takes is one of those W2s to kill you, right? And now Silver right now just at 3 HP, kind of just barely managing to hang on right now, but one more hit from Gladiolus will kind of close out this game.
Yeah, and Gladiolus playing this pretty patiently, right? Not wanting to run into any big damage openings, as Silver actually brings it all the way back, though. That lead is gone, but 1 HP left on Silver. But Gladiolus has no, like, long range. There it is. Okay, I was about to say, cannot catch Silver, but does.
Yeah, that Invade managing to find the last hit right there that Gladiolus is needed to close out that game, and now we're going to be going into the next one. Fortunately, Gladiolus getting away with whipping that Triple Barrel. That definitely could have gone a lot worse with some better timing, but that's a Whirl.
Yeah, this Entangle already putting in so much work for Gladiolus on that slight off angle, and also in that 2 to 3 away position where Coretta's stuff isn't quite fast enough to land, right? Her W2 will not quite be fast enough. It'll be reactable for the opponent in that range. But the Entangle just catches them and sets them up for that, and I think that's doing a lot of work. But so far, it's Silver who's the one getting the bulk of the damage in this game, and quite a sizable lead here.
Yeah, contrary to the last game, you know, Silver being the one with the 40 HP lead right now. But let's see if things will continue as last game did, because Silver did close the gap, so we might see Gladiolus close the gap, or we might see Silver continue to maintain this lead, but it looks like that will not be the case, as Gladiolus gets the backstab into the Whirl, and then now the game is evened out, and that's not it because of the shield, but Silver managing to finish it off with the Step Slash. But yeah, I thought that was going to be it, but without it scales off of shield damage, so not enough shield there for that shield throw to kill, but still managing to find the hits anyway.
Yep, and now we're heading into game 3, and this is a pretty crucial game 3. As that's a huge deck switch from Gladiolus, Glitter, Dimension Sword, Warp Rays, an inverter of their own.
This is a completely different strategy. I don't know. This is something that you don't see Glitter played pretty much ever. So this is definitely not something I have seen. Um, but I'm interested to find out right now what the primary tactic of this deck is.
Yep, it is a little bit scary here. If the bombs are set up, I could definitely see it being really big damage here with the Warp Rays, but not quite connecting here again. Silver just with a good defense. Dimension Sword as well. The Glitter coming through, but not connecting as Glad just not being able to set up any of the big damage parts of this deck.
Yeah, I think one of the issues that Glad is kind of running into is that even if you do manage to hit something, you know, like there's no mana catch in this deck, you know, and then there's you're running multiple 2 costs, you're running the 3 cost on the Warp Rays, and you're probably just going to run out of mana before you actually get to do that much with what you have. So I think that'll definitely be a challenge to get over because also with a deck like this, if you don't have the right combination of cards, to properly apply pressure, they're easily avoided.
Yep, and Glad though actually bringing it all the way back, right, and not taking too much damage and actually finding some damage of their own. And good shield too on the combo by Silver. It wasn't true that the shield comes through, and now that bomb is looking very scary but cleared away by Silver. And Silver is now maintaining a bit of a lead here. The shield break, the kinetic wave, the weapon, and we'll close out this third game.
Now we're going to be moving on to potentially the last game in the set right now. I definitely think that Gladiolus is probably switching off of that. Yep, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I do not think that was the strat, but maybe this one will be the strat. So looks like they're going back to the previous deck. Definitely, I think had more success with that one. It's a bit better in terms of pacing and mana efficiency. So we're gonna be moving into the 4th game right now.
Yep, 4th game getting started, and it's immediately Silver the one getting a bit of an opening, but matched with the Whirl, almost getting the Entangle. Gladiolus looking very threatening here, and good shields on Silver's offense as well, but the lead vanishes to the Inverter.
And I think one thing I've kind of noticed about Silver, that after thinking about it, that pull is really dangerous, right? Because you get hit by the pull, and then no matter where you are, you kind of just get followed up with the W2 immediately right after. Unfortunately, not getting the pull there on the shield break, missing that. But W2 into the kinetic wave going to be dealing a decent amount of damage right there.
Oh, and big opening here, but good dodge from Silver, not getting caught by the Suture, and now getting a really big damage with the shield throw. Actually, that card's been doing a lot of work for Silver, and Glad at 9 health, not in a good spot here. The Inverter coming through, good shield, good dodge away from the shear. It's a tough spot for Glad, as 5 health is not a lot to work with.
Yes, 5 HP and a Dream on Glad side, but that Dream not coming true as Silver closes that out with, I believe, the Step Auto. So that is fortunate for Glad, but Silver will be moving on. In the loser's side, so Silver will be going into Garden next.
All right, and next we're gonna have the other loser side play.
Yeah, so Taku Pirate and Darken Ties. Who was Darken playing? Is this I think I've seen Dark play Hazel. I can't remember off the top of my head, but this might be a Hazel Ditto. We will see.
Yeah, and Dark had quite the run up until now in the loser side, so it's gonna be very interesting to see.
Oh, looks like it will be Hazel Ditto.
Yeah, Hazel Ditto coming through.
Oh, even same skin too. Hazel Ditto. Skin Ditto as well. And here we go. So let's check out these deck lists. So we've seen Otaku's deck list already with the SD turret, the ice, and the double team. And this almost looks like the same thing on Darkentai's side, except having a bit more frost support in there with the snow cone. But both players really running a relatively similar strategy. So this is really a ditto.
Yeah, and Otaku Pirate strikes first with that combo with the wrenches, and Dark now forward as well, but it is much easier to clear boxes if you're Hazel versus Hazel, especially when they're placed on your side. Definitely something to note here. You could take over your opponent's boxes, and we're seeing that right now, but the Beam Crystal is actually what's getting a lot of value for Otaku Pirate in this matchup.
Yeah, Otaku Pirate having a fairly solid lead right now. Both players having the frost on them, but yeah, this is gonna be we're gonna see a lot of guns in this matchup with these turrets constantly going off, as neither player can really afford to kind of leave their blocks up in the front for protection. And then both players also going to be able to proc, actually no, not both players, probably mostly Darkentai is going to have the advantage of being able to proc off the frost off of Otaku Pirate's blocks. So yeah, definitely an interesting dynamic happening here.
Yeah, and despite the early lead, it is all but vanished here, especially if an ice pick can come through for either player. That could be a huge damage potential here. That's the 20 damage on the ice pick for Otaku Pirate, but there's so much damage back. Dark with a combo will finish it off.
Yeah, Otaku Pirate landing the ice pick first, but Darkentai is landing the combo into the ice pick, doing just even more damage, closing out with a 38 damage streak right there. Absolutely nuts.
Right. And this is a completely different deck coming out from Otaku Pirate in this second game here.
This is
a complete change of pace.
This is interesting. This is I don't know what the plan is here. I guess this is an eruption deck. They're probably gonna be maybe using the trimmer on their side to kind of use the eruption.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I think that's the tactic, but definitely gonna be careful there, because if you cast eruption at the wrong time and you don't move after using trimmer, you will literally trap yourself.
Yeah, it is a bit dangerous to use, especially against an ice pick deck, right? It's pretty threatening, as these crack tiles need to be used quick and not connecting this time. So this feels like another consistent damage type of deck, but if Dark can recognize and avoid the consistent damage, but wait a second, wait, Dark with the big combo as well, but that's 2 frost stacks on Otaku Pirate. That is a really dangerous place to be in.
And then another thing about this as well, you know, like I think this is just gonna be Otaku's deck is gonna be a little bit vulnerable to some adaptation from Darkentai's, because you know, once they kind of get used to that eruption timing, it is dodgeable on reaction, and that's pretty much where the damage is. So if Darkentai's kind of does get used to that timing and then starts dodging the eruption, then this could be difficult for them, but it does not seem like they're doing that just yet.
Yeah, but now once again the eruption comes through, and wow, that wrench just connected there, not expected. Once again, going for the ice pick. 2 frost procs, 2 frost stacks on Otaku Pirate. There, and Dark doesn't want the proc, wants the ice pick to finish the game. 20 damage will be enough here, and such a dangerous position for Otaku Pirate to be in.
Yeah, that's 1 ice pick away, definitely. And fortunately gonna be, yep, there it is, the eruption dodge. Gonna be avoiding that, which definitely, that would have been enough to close out the game, so definitely necessary to avoid that. We're gonna see another eruption coming up soon. Unfortunately getting counter hit out of the trimmer though, so not gonna be able to set it up. Gonna be fighting the step slash.
Bit of a tough spot here, incredibly low, and that will be what finishes off. Otaku Pirate catches Darkin, and we're gonna see some adaptation back most likely here, because it's the same deck. When you win, you're locked, and that game was much closer near the end than it was at the start.
Yeah, so I think if Dark, you know, gets used to these eruption patterns, then they may be able to just overall kind of outpace Otaku Pirate. But that's only if, right? They will need to make the adjustment, and in order to be able to start getting more damage off, being able to start playing better defense.
Right, once again, not landing this time. It feels like Dark has really found the places to stand, and Ice Pick comes through. Not the biggest damage, but still a very sizable combo that keeps the game pretty even.
Yep, we're seeing a fairly even game towards the end right now, just like we kind of had in the previous match. Both players pretty much a 4 HP difference right now. There's tons of blocks on the board right now. You're probably going to be using to block that the break shot just now. And Dark looking for an Ice Pick, unfortunately not going to be finding it though.
10 health remaining, dangerous spot to be in, the blink forward, and a little bit of lag here as the frost procs do come through. One frost stack, but dangerous, and as both players are feeling out the connection, but it's all fine now, and Mark comes through as well. The Mark dodged away, 7 health, and the game ends just like the previous one. Otaku Pirate with the snipe.
Yes, and is that... Oh no, that was not the last game. I forgot that Dark did win the first one. So we are going to be moving into game 4, I believe now. So Dark definitely going to be wanting to not be getting hit by those eruptions for sure. You know, it's a 12 damage every time you get hit by that, and it's 1 mana, so it's a fairly low commitment for Otaku too. So definitely not something you want to be getting hit by too much. Dark definitely going to be needing to find a way to avoid that in order to kind of remove that inevitability factor from Otaku's deck.
Yeah, and Dark, once again at a deficit, needs to find something quickly. Finds an opening, but not quite getting the wrench there, and these missed opportunities are so dangerous. But standing at 2 health is Otaku, but finding a big combo nonetheless. Looking for this eruption. It's in time, but does not land. It's a bit awkward, but still a 45 health lead for Otaku Pirate.
Yeah, right now this is not looking too great for Dark, but the game is not over yet, but it will be if they pull the SD turret. Fortunately being left with 1 HP, so not quite dying from that, but almost. And now we have Dark at 3 HP. Unfortunately going to be walking into the bonk though. One well-timed bonk taking that set for Otaku Pirate.
Well played for Otaku Pirate, taking the mirror here, as now we're heading into a very different matchup. We saw 2 Hazels, but now it's Garden versus Silver. And
we're going to be looking at Reva and Selkie now, so definitely a very different matchup. Going to be a very different experience to watch. But I will be right back in 1 minute. I need to go grab my DoorDash from downstairs.
Okay. Well, Garden versus Silver. The loser's quarter starting up in just a second. Silver sitting here with the Reva and Garden, of course. The Celici to watch out for. And this is going to be quite interesting because the way that Silver plays, I feel will be pretty successful in this matchup, but I could be wrong. And of course, you cannot count Garden out in the slightest. Definitely the favorite player here, but I don't know. I think Silver has a very good shot here. Had very solid defense, and of course was able to get the damage as well. I'm missing words to say words. Is anyone in the chat? I hope no one's listening to this. Just waiting for Windfall, waiting for Garden. This Garden guy is not joining the lobby.
Alright, and I am back, but it looks like Garden isn't back, so...
Yeah, common theme.
How's that? There he is. Garden arriving fashionably late once again.
right.
All right.
We're heading right into it.
So it looks like we're going to have the typical decks from both players starting off. The usual shield throw, inverter, shear stuff from Silver, and then the usual kind of Salgi package from Garden. But we're going to be getting into it right now. Both players whiffing pretty much the almost first half of the deck. So both players managing to find at least one spell though in this first rotation.
Yep, and Silver's been very, very good at countering. Gets the surprise shield break with the shield throw. And that's a card that we're going to have to watch out in terms of shielding, because that does so much damage.
Yeah, if Silver has full shield, that shield throw does 12. That will just pretty much pop your shield immediately. So blocking that isn't even really an option.
And Silver now off to quite the sizable lead here. The Vivisection not connecting, and Silver sitting pretty comfortably. The inverter is going to come out soon. Actually combos the weapon into the inverter. That was pretty nice.
Yeah, nice shrink from Silver there, and Silver going to be really enjoying a nice lead right now. Probably a solid 30 HP, so Garden going to be looking to find some hits. Fortunately not finding the breakout just now, and missing the shear as well, but managing to find a little bit of the minigun.
Right now, Garden trying to build back this lead here, and actually a huge combo. Gets all of the sweet spots, and that is the game swinging into Garden's favor. Oh, but the inverter says no.
Inverter, in fact, does say no. But Silver managing to regain the lead, but honestly, just barely. Eating the minigun and being left with just 8 HP. Both players pretty much on their last legs right now. The next hit will be closing out this game, and looks like it'll be the K-Wave from Silver taking this game.
Well played from Silver. Had the lead for most of it. Garden snatched it away for a moment, but calm play in the end game by Silver to close that one out. Now, this start of the game is so important for Garden, right? Was really, really behind in the last one. Managed to claw his way back, but doesn't really want to be the one on the back foot if he can help it.
Yeah, definitely, but game is pretty even right now. Looks like Silver is up right now on his cycle. Gonna be getting the inverter with a little bit of poke into the step slash, push slash, but Garden gonna be answering right back with that string.
Right, Garden now in the front row looking for any kind of starter, as with a slight lead right now. Much better situation than last game. The Vivisection comes out as well. Dodged away. No self-hit this time as the inverter comes out, as the K-Wave comes out too from Silver as the end to that combo. And once again, Silver fishing. Getting 2 hits of the strip mine. That's a lot of chip damage that could matter. And now Silver in a great spot here, catching Garden with the raw backstab as well. And just playing really on point here as Garden is just trying to adjust, trying to find an opening, but Silver is throwing out so many threatening cards to counter. The Vivisection attempted here, not quite connecting, but Garden with a slight lead.
Garden definitely having some difficulty landing some of these hits, you know, because the shield throw's flying, the inverter's flying, the Ricochet shield is flying, but managing to find a hit right there, almost getting taken out by that shield throw combo, getting left with just about 2 HP, not having any spells left, gonna be shuffling, but gonna be dealing with Silver's full hand right now.
Yeah, tough spot to be in auto slash, and manages to put together the entire combo to close out the game. Garden bring it back to 1-1. But these games are close. Silver is playing so well, so threateningly against the Garden's offense.
Yeah, definitely. These games are definitely just both ending out very close. Even if there's a large gap in HP between the two players at the start or in the middle, it always ends out with both of them pretty much being at lethal, one combo away from victory. But it looks like starting out here, we're just straight up even, just at the beginning.
Yeah. 30 health gone for both players just about, and Garden trying to get a little bit more chip. Needs to find the big damage here, but Silver's not been hit by any Vivisection at all this set so far, which is leading to just being a lot healthier than they would be otherwise. Now with some more damage available, fresh hand available, Garden always very good at shuffling on time. It always feels like has a good hand ready to do some offense with, but getting interrupted this time to shear as well. And that is Silver taking a slight lead, especially with the strip mines and another interrupt with the weapon. Silver is playing this so well.
Yeah, both players just overall kind of just playing amazing defense right now. Both of them kind of just struggling to find a lot of meaningful hits against each other, just basically just trying to take any chip damage that they can right now. Garden managing to find a little bit of chip there with the push slash, and right now we have Silver with the step slash into the shear right there. Garden answering with the crossfire combo, and now we're still neck and neck. Both players closing in on lethal HP.
Oh, and a huge interrupt by Garden there, getting a little bit of damage and blocking out the front row for a second. The first column not really being allowed to play, and a huge shield break here, but only as a step slash. Is that enough? No, not enough punish on the shield break there. Garden can't quite get the kill, and this could be a huge opportunity as Garden is now the one at 1 HP.
One ricochet away from closing out this game, but instead finds the kinetic wave that will be doing it instead, putting Silver up 1 game on Garden. And now we're going to be moving into the 4th game.
4th game coming through. Strip Mine as well in position as Silver. Good defense, but Garden brings it back. Very close game, but Silver's been hitting so many of these raw backstabs. That has been some very consistent damage output. Garden's lingering in the back column a little bit too often.
Yeah, you know, when you're fighting Reva, she's just not a character you really want to be fighting up front. And then, you know, you have kinetic wave, you have shear, you have push slash. So Garden definitely kind of just by default kind of moving or positioning more towards the back, mostly out of habit, just defensively.
Right, vivisection attempted here again. The shield throw so threatening from Silver, and once again a small lead for Silver is being built here. But a huge shield break. The vivisection setup, 19 damage, 23, and the shear as well. Good shield break punish, but Silver goes in right back, gets the backstab, gets the shear, and now trying to do some damage with the weapons. So scary for Garden here, because that's a starter, but hit steps the kinetic wave and doesn't get killed.
Yeah, once again, here we are again, in a similar situation. Both players at lethal HP, but it looks like it will be Garden closing it out this time. But they've just been neck and neck every single game. Kind of just shows just how close they are.
Yeah, it is always down to the wire, it feels like. And this game is no different. Back and forth. And back and forth the Strip Mine, so threatening as well. The kinetic wave getting some extra credit here, but the shield throw will not connect. And this inverter not connecting either, which is a huge opportunity for Garden. Has the hand first, has a lot of cards to play with. Going for some damage here, but can't really get a big combo. And this time parrying the backstab, that not getting that extra damage might actually be the difference maker, especially with the shield break here. The vivisection punish on the shield break, 24 with the extra little bit. And now it's getting a little bit interesting.
Yeah, Garden with the pretty sizable lead right here. Unfortunately not keeping it though, as Silver immediately answers back with the ricochet and then managing to find his way into the shield throw as well. And now an inverter, just landing it raw and comboing all 3 hits into each other. So now we have both players just closing in below, or now a bit more below half HP now on Garden's side, but still, this is definitely something that...
But Garden does get the sweet spot, but the kinetic wave, that's been so good for Silver, and Silver gets the upset over Garden. Garden's eliminated.
Garden is out. You know, pretty much all the games ending with both players at lethal HP. It looks like Silver managing to pull ahead a bit in the final game, closing it out with a bit more of an HP gap. But that was a very, very good set to watch.
Now we're heading to Icarus Diver versus Otaku Pirate. This is also going to be a game that's really scrappy. It's going to be a lot of up close and personal, and also probably Otaku Pirate trying to zone Icarus out. But with Reva having the tools to clear away a lot of those boxes, I'm not quite sure how this matchup will go.
Actually, Reva's her tools in terms of clearing boxes has actually gotten a bit weaker because of the that patch that Eden Dev did.
Right, it's only one.
Yeah,
now.
So it won't clear multiple anymore, which is honestly like in a matchup like this against Hazel, and just in general against structures, it makes a really big difference in Reva's ability to handle people hiding behind these things. So I'm not too sure how Icarus might get around just a large number of blocks being on the field, but I am certainly not doubtful that he will find a way.
Well, it's going to be an interesting matchup. We're going to head into it very shortly. Icarus versus Otaku Pirate. As yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I think it'll be a pretty interesting game.
All right, both players on the standard deck right now. Otaku Pirate, but maybe we might see the Tremor Eruption deck come out again later if they happen to drop a couple of games, but we'll have to wait and see.
Otaku Pirate setting up already, and really good interrupts on the world, not letting Icarus get any big combos. But once again, the Quad Claws coming in clutch, as Otaku Pirate is countering a lot of these hits, but still, it is just Icarus getting a lot of consistent damage, not the big damage combos, which is a good sign for later if Otaku Pirate can adapt defensively, because not getting hit by the combos is pretty huge, and doing a combo of your own is pretty huge as well, bringing this game all the way back to almost even.
Yeah, just like that, just a couple of strings, just immediately shaving away almost 40 HP from Icarus, but Icarus is managing to stay ahead just a bit right now, but if we get another one of those, that might not be the case.
Oh, and Otaku Pirate really wanted to punish the Quad Claws, but that card is one of those cards that's deceptively hard to punish, but Otaku Pirate didn't have enough mana there. Couldn't continue the combo, and that could be really bad as the shield break comes through. The Quad Claws, the weapon, but not quite death, as Otaku Pirate has to be so careful here. 1 health in a dream, and the shears will end that dream. Icarus, 1-0 up.
And now, are we going to be seeing a deck switch? Okay, maybe we're going to be seeing the Eruption come out, but I'm going to be honest. I don't think that this, if this is the Eruption deck, I don't think...
Oh.
It is not. This is
a
different...
deck, the secret third deck.
This is a different direction for Break, because I don't think Eruption is going to be as effective against a player with probably just as good fundamental defense as Icarus, who will likely just dodge it. But Lockdown is a different story. That card is not that easy to dodge. And then on top of that, the Golf Bomb to support it as well. I don't know if you saw that. I don't know if Otaku Pirate looked like they were trying to box him in. But
yeah,
I can't.
Does I guess as Reva you do have a way to clear the being boxed in. Wait, do you?
Yeah, wait. It depends. I think it depends on where you get boxed in. Because if your Ricochet can't reach the bottom, then I don't think you do. But I'm more surprised that Otaku Pirate's even going. Like, I don't know. Maybe they're not going for it and they're just placing their boxes in a convenient spot. But that's what it looked like. But either way, unfortunately for Otaku Pirate, going to be at a fairly large HP deficit here, and it looks like it is not going to be closing just yet.
Yeah, and although this deck swap happened, I think this deck is a little bit harder actually, because Otaku doesn't have that combo power that brought them back in that last game, right? So without that kind of combo potential, there's no big damage to really, I guess, rely on here, because now it's just Icarus having the chip damage, and the game is slowly slipping away.
Yeah, and then not to mention the Quad Claw is also going to be a bit more effective against this strategy as well, because, if that Lockdown gets shuffled away, that's pretty much just all your damage in the rotation. Completely gone. And then I'm also kind of surprised by the lack of Starfield, It's usually something that is nice to complement the Lockdown package to add some more damage to your rotations, but we're not really seeing that in this deck, and I think overall just the sheer difference in damage potential is showing right now.
Yep, and now we're seeing another swap coming out, potentially from Otaku Pirate, trying to make the adaptation here, and I don't know, I kind of believe in the first deck. Like, although Icarus did win, Otaku looked comfortable and got that combo, and it was not out of reach, I felt like.
Yeah, but we are going to be seeing the Eruption deck coming out next, so we'll see how this will perform. But I also agree. I think that the first deck probably had the best chance of being able to kind of take out Missile for because of that damage output. If you do land the right combo, you hit really, really hard, with the Bonk Hazel strat. But it looks like we got a little bit of stationary Otaku right now.
Oh yeah, not sure what's happening here. Oh, there we go. Well, we're gonna have to see if Otaku Pirate can find their way back into this game, or if the power of Icarus Diver will be too much. But getting a little bit of damage early here, and maybe that's a good sign for later on this game.
Yeah, Otaku Pirate managing to find a bit of damage so far, having just a small lead right now. But we will see how long that lead stays. Both players are now pretty much neck and neck, just before setting up the mines of the back. Unfortunately, not going to be getting anything off of that.
Yeah, and I think big thing is the invades, right? If Missile is invading, can't get hit by the eruption, so that might be a huge factor. But and a shield break is huge. The punish not so huge, but the quad claws you'll take those, shut down any sort of offense from Otaku Pirate that might be coming out.
All right, and now Otaku Pirate looking to set up a Tremor Eruption right now, and we will see how that will go. And unfortunately, not going to be hitting, and even getting punished for it by the whirl from Icarus Diver.
Yep. But the mark connects, and Otaku capitalizes, getting a bit of a lead here off of that mark hit stun. And now in a bit of danger, though. The backstab huge, kind of trapped, gets out of there very, very quickly. But the quad claws in hand, the eruption doesn't connect. The quad claws, the whirl, 1 health remaining, and the weapon will catch Icarus with the 3-0.
Yep, the Ricochet kind of chasing Otaku Pirate into the back column right there, and closing that out. But yes, that will be Icarus up 3-0 in this set, and we'll be moving on to loser semis. So they're gonna be fighting. We're gonna see a Raven Ditto in loser semis.
Well, that's pretty cool, but that's gonna be after the winners final, which is up now. Mickle versus Perp. That is something that we're seeing quite a lot, and we're gonna be seeing it once again here.
Now the question is Perp gonna start Shopkeeper, or are they gonna start? No, they're gonna start Harissa. So we're gonna see the Perp Harissa into the Mickle Shizo. Oh, Perp confidently starting the Harissa. Okay.
Yeah, like I'm really confidently starting the Harissa here. Right, yep, Shiso versus Harissa here. We're heading right in, and I'm interested to see because this Harissa did quite well against Garden, right? So it's looking pretty scary.
Indeed, but I think that just in terms of players here, I'm fairly certain that Mickle's probably fought Sholmina a good amount at this point. So probably very experienced in this matchup, or at least against Harissa in general. So despite Perp's success against Garden, I think that finding that same success against Mickle might prove to be a lot more difficult.
Yep, we'll have to see what they can do here. The Entangle comes through, and the Inverter actually interrupts the invade from Mickle, as Perp's sitting at a very comfortable HP lead. The elusiveness that she is playing with in this particular game is really just making it hard for Mickle to find a starter.
Yeah, I actually just remembered something that because this is Harissa, we just saw it right there. The root setups can be teleported out of, so that Entangle not going to be quite as strong, especially if Mickle's pretty much going to need to land it directly in front of her in order to actually get something off of it. Otherwise, Perkin can just teleport out.
Right, so doing some more damage here. Mickle can't quite get the world starter, and now is looking a little bit concerning for Mickle right this late into the game, and Perp's not really getting hit by any big damage starters, so sitting pretty comfortable. Wait a second, the world comes through, the gun comes through as well, and I cursed it. I said Mickle hasn't gotten any big damage starters, but he just did.
Yep, and there's the big damage starter, and it looks like Perp will be switching off the Harissa. I don't know, I think the Harissa did fairly well right there, but Miko pulling out the adaptation towards the end, finding that strong starter, and pretty much just closing out that game immediately around the 30 HP threshold that they like to execute. We've kind of seen a lot of 30 HP executes from Miko in general, so.
Right. Well, triple barrel coming through, and Perp with the lead here, but the root setup now from Miko. The Entangle doing a lot of work here, and not getting hit by the guillotine as well. A very different matchup than when we saw it last. Perp gonna have to rely a lot more on movement here, and currently doing so, but being threatened a lot by Miko. And Miko just hit steps out of that kinetic wave.
Yeah, that was definitely a very good hit step, because if that hit step did not work out, it would have been very bad for Miko. Gonna be taking a lot of damage from that potentially, but looks like we have a game slightly moving into Miko's favor now. Unfortunately, getting hit by the triple barrel in the back though, not getting caught by anything else additionally.
Right, and this game very even here, but Miko getting a lot of bullets, and that could be threatening later on for the combos as the bomb is being pushed back. It's a really tough spot here. The bomb pulled forward and Miko taking damage here, but a shield break and that could be death. Miko, not quite enough.
Yeah, just barely not being able to finish off the game, but you know, definitely one thing I always say, Entangle, do not shield that. Oh, but this is gonna be it. The guillotine, not even going for the rag, just going for the guillotine to get the proper execution to close out that game. But yeah, definitely very well played by Perp, pulling up the adaptation. And it looks like Shopkeeper is the better pick in this case over Harissa.
Well, it's 1-1, and that last game was so incredibly close, but Perp clutched it out in the very end. Now, has to be very careful though, because Miko, I think, has gotten very warmed up with the combos, is very on point. But two good pulls into two big damage cards. Perp trying to build a bit of a lead here, but Miko is just saying no. Miko, the one in the lead now, and the bombs trying to set up, but just get cleared away, and now Perp doesn't quite have the bomb set up, and Miko's in an awkward spot.
Yeah, Miko kind of sitting in the corner right there to help avoid that fadeaway, and did manage to successfully avoid it, but unfortunately takes a bit of damage from that triple barrel. And now we're going to see a fadeaway poke coming up potentially. Oh, Perp unfortunately not aiming that quite correctly, so not going to be getting the follow-up.
Triple barrel attempted, not quite connecting with the tax return, and now Miko just waiting for the hand to come back. A raw Ragnarok attempted from Perp, but not connecting either. Now the Align available, the Guillotine available, the Guillotine for 15 damage. This game is getting to its end game quite rapidly here. And Miko just dodging 3 separate tax returns.
Yeah, that was definitely quite an insane series of dodges there. But unfortunately not going to be able to close out the game with that rotation. So still in quite a bit of danger. As you know how Shopkeeper is, but it looks like Miko will find the hits necessary to close it out before Perp can pull something off.
Alright, and now Miko on match point, on advancing to Grand Finals winner side point here, but Perp is the one who strikes first with a bit of damage, but Miko strikes right back, trying to find some ammo for the Shiso gun here, and landing the Javelin as well. Has been landing quite a few Javelins, right? When that mark is there, it's always the Javelin, it feels like, and has been just landing them raw quite a bit, and that's so much damage, but a good blink away from Perp actually prevents any big damage, and Perp at a huge deficit, but not out of the game by any means.
Yeah, certainly not out of the game, because we know deficits don't mean too much in the face of Shopkeeper, who can easily close the deficit just like that. But maybe this one will mean something. 11 HP, pretty much anything from Miko right now. It's going to be closing out the game, and looks like that was almost it, but it will be the backstab instead. Go with the spam taunt.
Yep, Miko
and now we're
closing that one out.
The next game. Oh no, that's it. Oh.
Yeah, you mean the next set as in Silver and set. Icarus. Oh yeah.
We're gonna be moving into the next set, not the next game.
Yeah, that was pretty close, but I think Miko... Well, both of them are very practiced in this player matchup by now, but Miko just played the offense very well, I think. It was pretty hard for perp to breathe too much in the center of the field.
With Entangle kind of just controlling the front two columns very strongly, it's kind of, Shopkeeper, as long as he's kind of threatening that card, Shopkeeper kind of just loses a lot of control, or I guess ability to kind of maneuver around, because you really can't be caught moving in Entangle range, because getting hit by that against Shizo is just so bad, and then the amount of damage that you take is just not worth it a lot of the time. So Per definitely having to play very defensively. But now moving on to this set, we got the Rava Ditto, we got Icarus and Silver, two leaderboard Rava players, and both of them just very strong at the game. Both of them also having very good results as well.
Yep. And two very different decks as well, right? Of course, with a lot of common cards, but also the difference is what makes this a little bit interesting. The inverter versus the quad claws, stuff like that. But the kinetic wave doing so much work for Silver, especially in the last matchup, but in this one as well with a quick lead.
Yeah, and then we also have the shield throw as well, doing a bit of work for Silver across the games in this tournament. And right now, it looks like Silver is, with a fairly sizable lead, about nearly 40 HP ahead of Icarus. So Icarus is going to be needing to really find some hits just now, right now. Yep. Unfortunately, not going to be doing too much against Silver's defense.
Yeah, Silver playing this quite comfortably with a good dodge step as well. Past the strip mine and just doing so much chip damage. Icarus is getting incredibly low. The shear comes out and the health dwindles. 29 versus 59 here. And Icarus is not looking like they're going to find a combo anytime soon. Unfortunately, has to shuffle. And a shield break as well. That's the kill with the shield throw. Silver with a dominant first game.
Yeah, Inverter is one of those cards that is surprisingly good at shield breaks, so Silver managing to close out that first game fairly convincingly. So let's see if we can see some adaptation from Icarus, and it looks like there has been some adaptation so far, with Icarus having almost a 30 HP lead up right now.
Yep, Icarus looking like the adaptations are coming in here. The dodge away, the kinetic wave not doing too much, but the backstab so consistent for Silver as well. Very good reactions on catching someone in that back column, but a little bit of a string from Icarus as well. The inverter though, big damage and almost a shear. Good shield from Icarus to not take too much, but the game is evened up now.
Yeah, now Icarus is going to be needing to watch out for that shield throw, which is going to be doing 12 damage. Unfortunately misses though, so Silver going to have to be recharging the shield. And here it comes again. Oh, fortunately, the shield throw will be connecting that time for Icarus. And now Silver going to be looking for a K-Wave.
Not quite, but still looking for the K-Wave here. Just throws it out in neutral, and now in a tough spot. 5 health is not allowed to work with the strip mine threatening as well. 6 health as Icarus is just sitting comfortably in the center 2 columns. Playing very defensively, knows that any hit will do it here. Has a lot of health to work with, doesn't need to rush. And whoa, those were some scary quad claws there, but none of them did connect. And Silver is staying alive for quite a long time. Of course, a lot of it does have to do with Icarus playing more defensively than offensively right now, but finds one opening with the strip mine, and Icarus converts to even up the set.
Yeah, pretty much the opposite result of that first game there. Silver taking the first game quite convincingly, and then Icarus answering right back, taking the second game also quite convincingly. So we're gonna see. Let's see if we can get a more even turnout with this one. Maybe both players ending up at lethal potentially.
Yep, and quad claws are huge. They shut down Silver's offense for a little while longer. And now it's time once again for Icarus to be in the lead, and we saw the last game, right? Icarus just played the game so safely, but there's a shield break, but not even that much. Oh wait, that's a huge shield throw though, and the game is even again.
Yeah, that strip mine in the back there actually removing Icarus's options. We got some stutters. Looks like it has cleared up though, but as I was saying, the strip mine removing the option to move up and down for Icarus, and then him having to walk into that shield throw. Ooh, almost another shield throw being set up there.
Yep. K-Wave, quad claws attempted, but not quite. as 2 hits of the strip mine though bring the game back to even. Icarus with a misstep there, and now the backstab, the shear. Silver in a great spot to turn this game around. The inverter doesn't connect, and now Icarus is a full hand, trying to look for maybe a shield break here, maybe any sort of pressure, but the quad claws don't connect. The kunai is good, but once again the strip mine not quite threatening Silver here, and now Silver in a good spot to close out this game. One opening is all that they need, but still trying to find it. Strip mine again, forcing Silver forward, but the quad claws don't connect again, and the inverter whiffs as well. A lot of spaghetti from both players, but one's gonna find something soon.
And Silver finding a little bit of damage there, reducing Icarus to 3 HP, but not finishing, closing out the game just yet. Unfortunately, the shield, they're going to be whiffing there. And Icarus looking for an auto slash into the shear to finish this off. Unfortunately, not going to be getting it, though. And Silver will be getting the push slash to close out this third game. And here we go on to game 4.
Another tense end game there. And now it's going to be more of the same in this early game. Both players so good at avoiding the other's pressure, but this inverter also incredibly good pressure as well. We've seen Silver shield break with it a few times this set, and getting a lot of extra credit off of the strip mine as well. But same on the other side, almost mirrored as the entire hand is discarded from Missile's quad claws. But another misstep means 2 hits of strip mine on Icarus, and that is not what you want to see, especially when Silver is on point with the punishes here. A 26 health lead, but we've seen these leads vanish before, especially when you get the shear into whirl, into push slash, and kunai somewhere in there as well. But on the other side, the backstab, the step slash, everything for Silver.
Yeah, right now Silver definitely having the damage right now to close out this game if they do find all the hits, but Icarus having that damage right now as well. Going to be finding the quad claws. Unfortunately, nothing to follow up with that, so going to need to be relying on the next rotation. And Silver right now just with the shield throw in hand, not going to be landing that either. And both players right now just looking for one more hit to close out this game.
1 hit is all it takes here. The pull not connecting, the backstab available, but the shear will be enough. Silver takes the game, advances to top 3.
That was a really good set. Oh, Rave Party. Looks like we're having a Rave Party right now.
Wait, Silver. Silver left the lobby. No, you're still in the tournament. You're up next.
Oh yeah, I guess they will be going into perp right now.
Yep, and I believe this is not a rematch. Who sent Silver to losers again? Oh no, it is a rematch. It was 3-2. Perp beat Silver in winners round 2, and now it's a rematch here in the losers final.
Yes, we're gonna be seeing Perp and Silver. Did they? They did fight earlier. They did fight earlier.
Yeah.
In bracket. Perp winning that time. So we're gonna see if Silver can make a bit of a comeback. You know, take down the Perp. But I believe Silver did lose to the Harissa. So not having a chance to fight the shopkeeper earlier. So I don't know how that would have turned out. But we will get to see how this will turn out right now as both these players move into the first game.
Yeah, and I think that Beam Crystal is going to do a lot of work in this matchup because Silver has a lot of straight line cards that will get stuffed out by that Beam Crystal, will get countered basically, and we're kind of seeing the effects of Perp also having a lot of boxing tools. Silver isn't getting to do the usual game plan as Perp is just threatening.
Yeah, that primer is definitely very dangerous, so we're gonna have to be a lot more careful up towards the front because you know that primer gonna be able to allow Perp to get those off-angle punishes in melee range.
Alright, and now Perp looking for an opening here, sitting behind the Beam Crystal, which has been such a good tool here. As Silver rushing forward, looking for an opening, but not quite able to get it. Gets the pull, but not reacting there, and this game is being kept extremely close.
Yeah, both players pretty much neck and neck right now. Perp going to be looking for a K-Wave setup right now. Not going to be landing it, though, unfortunately. And now we have Silver with the K-Wave coming up. We have the Step Shear coming up. gonna be doing a little bit of poke with the share right there, just managing to land the tip of it, but unfortunately not getting anything too big. And both players still pretty much just very, very even game right now.
Alright, and now with the Ricochet shield, Silver is just trying to poke, trying to find an opening, and we'll get a little bit of shield pressure. We'll get the backstab there as Perp is just sitting comfortably, trying to find an opening of her own, finding the minigun and looking for something greater, but this chip damage is really stacking up as Perp brings Silver to that critical HP, but still needs a big opening to finish the game.
Yes, Perp bringing Silver to lethal HP, but Silver also now almost bringing Perp to lethal. But unfortunately going to be at 1 HP left, so Perp going to be looking for the finishing hit right now. And fortunately not going to be landing the Step Slash, not going to be landing the Sacrifier, and going to be having to rely on the next rotation, looking for a teleport shot right now. And will be landing the Inverter, almost pretty much barely visible right there.
Yeah, it was almost disguised, but it was perfectly placed. Catching Silver on the bottom side and teleporting his corpse to the top side. And now it gets interesting, right? Because Silver had that really close for the majority of it and is still being very, very close here, but not landing the shield throw. Like this matchup could swing if Silver gets just a tiny bit more in terms of those small openings, like getting one more shield throw connecting.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I think Silver overall just kind of having more trouble getting Perp out of that back column and not really having a bunch of reliable ways to kind of clear out the Beam Crystal efficiently, because you will have to use the weapon twice, and then the shield throw obviously is not an option as we saw earlier, but Silver going to be getting a shield break, going to be setting up the shield throw, going to be getting a decent amount of damage off of that and solidifying a very large lead.
Yep, and getting some more damage off the weapon, but that's a shield break. That's some damage opportunity for Perp here, but can't quite get anything after that. And the backstab into the strip mine. Silver will take a game.
We've been seeing a lot of Inverter shield breaks so far. Looks like it is. I've always known that it had that potential, but man, that is really getting displayed right now. We're just seeing shield breaks every set off of that card. Oh man.
Yep, and now we're seeing Shopkeeper from Perp, but this is the other variant. This is not the one that we know Perp for, right? This is not the iconic 3 million damage per opening.
Yes, instead this is the double team variant, which is still definitely very effective, and probably gonna be a little bit better at giving Perp the opportunity to box Silver. So we will see how this will turn out for Perp.
Yep, and Perp now sitting in the back column, and the Inverter attempted as well, but really good weapon usage from Silver to kind of immune through all of that and make it hard for Perp, who is currently trying to sit in that back column, but it is Silver who's finding the consistent damage.
Yeah, right now Silver just overall just doing a really good job of avoiding any kind of meaningful starter from Perp, so they're not being able to get that big damage off that they need in order to keep up in pacing. Whereas Silver is slowly but surely chipping Perp down to lower amounts of HP. Landing the fadeaway though.
Yep, and suddenly the game looks so even. That fadeaway damage really turned things around, and now almost landing that so close, but just one row away. And now Silver's in a pretty comfortable spot, but again, the fadeaway damage, the Inverter damage, the individual damage so high, but that's a shield break, but not enough cards in the hand of Silver to really capitalize.
Yeah, unfortunately not having the cards to fully optimize that shield break there, but it will be enough to close the gap. So now you have both players pretty much closing in on lethal HP. Both players going to be having a fresh hand right about now, and now Silver going to be looking for a Step Slash, Auto Slash. Going to be getting hit by the Inverter though.
Oh, and a good blink forward from Perp, not trying to get caught here. 6 health remaining on Silver. Another K-Wave. The backstab is doing a lot of work. The Inverter to the front row, but Silver wasn't quite ready for it, and Perp will close it out.
Yeah, Perp managing to find the last hit there with the Gravitas into the fadeaway to escape the front. So good play by Perp, and now we're going to be looking at game 4, I think. And Silver definitely going to be needing to win this one if he wants to have a chance to move on to Grand Finals.
Yep. And Oh, big damage here. The push and pull from Perp is good. The Kinetic Wave doing a lot of damage. The extra credit with the inverter as well on that combo. An explosive start for Perp. Might repeat history here. This might be another Perp win over Silver because right now just looking very confident, but Silver unfazed, still continuing to go in with the damage, with the strip mine as well, and not getting caught by the fadeaway that time. That's huge, but getting caught, oh, wow, that is just so much damage.
Yeah, now Perp with the fairly massive lead right now, about 50 HP, so Silver definitely going to be looking to land some meaningful hits right now. Unfortunately, not going to be getting the pull, so it's going to be a little bit hard to set up that Kinetic Wave. Almost getting the Kinetic Wave set up on them instead, but managing to find it though. Getting a little bit of damage right there. Slowly but surely closing that gap out, now down to 20 HP difference.
Yep, but it's still a dangerous spot for Silver. One good opening will do it here. That's a really good fadeaway. 8 health remaining. And in a very tough spot here, trying to find it, but parried away is the shear. And now Perp in the front column, 3 health remaining, and the second part will connect. Perp will go to Grands.
And now we're gonna see Perp, Mikkel, Grands again. And this time it's gonna be Perp gonna needing to reset Mikkel in order to have a chance to take this tournament. But that is certainly no easy feat. So we will see if Perp can pull it off.
Yep. Another classic Perp Mikkel Grands, and not quite sure what will happen here, but with a bunch of characters in the mix, it's definitely going to be a good one.
Alright.
But before we start, I have a very important question. So,
Yep.
with this, we're guaranteed the first repeat winner in Sunday Shuffle history, right? So,
Oh, neither of these players have won 2 Sunday Shuffles?
yeah. All of the Sunday
Wow.
Shuffle winners have only won 1 Sunday Shuffle.
I'm kind of surprised about that. I was not aware that Mikkel doesn't even have the title.
Wait, what?
Unfortunate.
Wait, was it given to the wrong Mikkel?
Is there another Mikkel? I hope not.
Well, self-reminder to ask.
I don't even know. Someone's got the Sunday Shuffle Supreme title. Alright, moving into game 1 of this set. Got a little bit of a trade going on with the fadeaway and the W2, but looks like Mikkel's going to overall benefit a little bit more.
Yep. And Perp is not playing around here, right? Going immediately to the classic shopkeeper deck here, getting the mine, getting the damage back in this game, being kept very, very even.
Alright, and now we got Perp looking for a creative there, right there. Unfortunately, not going to be finding it though. And camp in the back to stay away from that scary Entangle, because that's definitely a card that you don't want to get hit by. Unfortunately, gets hit by it though, but doesn't take too much damage, but enough damage to solidify a lead for Mikkel.
Oh, and walks right into the minigun, doing a lot of work. The whirl as well. Mikkel with a huge lead right now. It's going to need a lot of big damage coming out from Perp to bring this one back, but it's looking a little bit dangerous here as Mikkel is just so elusive at the moment. And countered again. The Javelin doing so much work. The push slash to finish it off. Mikkel taking the first game.
And yeah, you know, like one thing with this matchup, you know, is that because a lot of Perp stuff is 4 away, if Mikkel kind of just sits in the back, you know, with that Entangle, right? Perp has to walk forward, otherwise she can't hit her spells. So I think we did see a little bit of that with Mikkel kind of just sitting in the back, forcing Perp to walk up in order to set up that Entangle.
But Perp still with a bit of a lead here, and we'll try to convert that one into a win with the guillotine available. A lot of potential here, but just the back column, Mikkel not wanting to get hit by the Align, the maximum possible time to dodge it, and just really defensive play coming out.
Yep, and now we got Perp trying to set up the Mine Rag right there. Unfortunately, not going to be getting it, though. And now we have Mikkel with Entangle Backstab in hand, getting the Backstab off into a little bit more damage. But, oh my goodness, we have 3 bombs in the back column. That is not a good situation to be in.
Yeah, that K-Wave could lead into a lot here. K-Wave, Ragnarok, minigun, almost getting the catch, but not quite. And now Mikko with one last chance. One chance to bring this game all the way back, but that's a guillotine. And that is the end of the game, 1-1.
Yeah, unfortunately, walking into the guillotine there. Not even walking into the gravitas, which then pulled him into the guillotine at the end right there. Unfortunate for Mikkel, but Perp managing to close out that game. So they're moving on to game 3 now. Both players at 1-1.
Yep, and once again, the Kinetic Wave doing a lot of work as Mikkel sends the minigun forward as well. Once again, in one of the top left or the bottom left corners. The corners doing so much work against the shopkeeper weapons here and dodging the guillotine on the return. So this game is so even. Oh, well.
Was even until Perp found that Ragnarok connection right there. And now Mikkel kind of just getting hard zoned out of the front column right now about the 2 traps. And Perp looking for some more damage to widen that gap, and now Mikkel looking for the entangle, finding it, gets the whirl, gets the minigun, and unfortunately not going to be getting the fire breath though.
Oh what God. A conversion! Wait, the Ragnarok hit also connected?
Yes, it did.
What? Yo, clip that.
Yes, we gotta clip that. Oh my God.
Oh. And the Connect Wave for the bomb as well. Mikkel on 1 HP. And that is the end of the game. But, oh, what a game it was.
Yeah, Bomb really doing a lot of work. And that's Mikkel switching off onto the Violette. But yeah, Bomb. Those were some interesting Bomb plays. Definitely not something I've seen before of the Bomb Rag stuff.
It was like Mikko got pulled, right? Got hit by the bomb, but the Ragnarok got hit by the bomb and the Ragnarok hitbox was still active?
I don't even know. Definitely gonna have to clip that one to just see what happened. But we're gonna see Mikko on the Violette. So not too sure what specific advantages that Mikko will have over playing Shizo, but certainly won't have any disadvantages.
Yep, and with bombs of his own, but right now, Perp is the one who is getting the pressure here with the bombs. A lot of damage from the guillotine and the bomb. And 3 hits of triple barrel and a bomb. Mikkel maybe getting a little bit impatient here because Perp is just punishing.
And the guillotine catching the weapon mash right there in the front column, and that's going to be Perp with the reset, I believe. But Perp just playing absolutely out of her mind right now with these bomb setups. And these overall, these traps that she's setting up on the field right now, and kind of just catching Mikkel.
Right, now we're headed to a reset. Mikkel versus Perp, and both of them with only 1 life left in this tournament, and Perp getting some crazy setups.
Yeah, it looks like Mikkel's gonna be sticking the Violette. We got a skin switch from Perp potentially. Got some skin shenanigans going on. Gonna be sticking with the Dread skin.
Right. And we're just about ready to head into the reset here as the replays end. Yep. Okay. We are ready.
Alright, and now we're going to get into it. Here is the bracket reset.
Wait. Did Mikkel unready?
Okay,
yeah. Okay. I thought we were bugged in the lobby for a second. I was so scared.
No. We are all good. Oh, Perp flexing the Shuffler Supreme title right now. Unfortunately, Mikkel does not have the same privilege, though.
Yeah, despite being a Sunday Shuffle winner, he mysteriously does not have the title, so we'll have to get that fixed after, but can't flex it right now in the Grand Finals reset.
And now we're going to get into it. Bomb already in the back, and we got the shield break from Mikkel, starting off with the explosive 30 damage combo, just right off the bat.
Yep, and triple barrel Going down, Mickle with the whirl as well. And wow, just a bomb in the back row, immediately being capitalized on by Mickle. This health lead is ridiculous.
Yeah, Mickle with an absolutely insane lead right now. And, just knowing how Violette is, this is pretty much lethal for Perp right now. 23 HP, the next hit, the next meaningful hit from Mickle will be closing this game out. So Perp will definitely need to be careful. That Mark's bomb there, quite dangerous. Perp finding their way around it, getting the K-Wave, but nothing to follow up.
Yep, and now in a tough spot with that bomb, right? And also Mickle is doing very, very well, like very diligently clearing away all of the bombs and the mines, and Perp in a tough spot now after that shield break put into the corner and 5 health remaining. Now Mickle trying to push forward here as Perp is needing to find an opening, but really good dodges from Mickle over and over, and the bomb hitbox will leave Perp at 1. The backstab will finish it, and Mickle will take the first game of the reset.
Yeah, we have Mickle with the classic strat right there. The backstab coming up and then quickly casting spells so that Perp doesn't notice the backstab. That is something you actually see from Mickle quite often. But we're going to be moving into this game right now. Perp starting off with a fairly nice start, getting the fadeaway at the start, getting the Ragnarok too. And Mickle already down to 60 HP.
Really well played from Perp, and now has a mine in the front, but doesn't have any cards to capitalize, as Mickle is playing still confidently. 2 bombs can equalize this game with one big combo with 1 bomb pull here, and the game is completely even now. Mickle finding the openings.
And now Mickle looking to set up that bomb. Unfortunately, not going to be getting it. Perp going to be preventing Mickle from putting that in the back column. Going to be whiffing the rag too. Mickle setting up the strip mine, getting the backstab into the explosion. And now Mickle with a small lead, but nothing too major.
But Perp's been allowed to set up these 2 bombs here. That could make the difference, because Mickle in the previous game just did not let those bombs be set up. But still, Mickle with quite the sizable health lead here. The guillotine misses. The triple barrel getting 2 hits here, and that's some extra damage, extra credit for Perp, as the mine connects as well. But Mickle with the combo brings Perp down to 10.
Yes, and despite the 10 HP gap, this game is pretty much even. We already know that because 1 combo from Perp will take it, but Mickle is going to be getting that combo first with the bomb into... What even was that afterwards? It was bomb into something else.
Bomb into thunder.
Bomb into thunder, yes.
The thunder kind of hid the bomb too, so it was like thunder into bomb, but it was bomb into thunder, you know?
Definitely an interesting way to be closing out that game.
And the bomb is doing a lot of work still for Mickle here, as Perp clears 1 away with a triple barrel, but that's a triple barrel that can't be used on the offense shuffle to try and get some offensive momentum here. But Perp is taking so much damage in the process. Mickle boxing perfectly in this game.
And Mickle overall just playing excellent defense throughout this set, making some major adjustments. Unfortunately, though, going to be getting hit by the fadeaway, a line rag, I think that was. So, was playing amazing defense. Unfortunately, just getting caught in 1 mistake and going to be eating a bunch of damage from that, but managing to regain that lead.
Yeah, speaking of eating a bunch of damage, Perp brought down to 7, and the bomb dodged away by Mickle. 3 health remaining, the backstab will finish it, and Mickle, with 1 last weapon hit on the bomb, will close the tournament out.
So it looks like Mickle will be our first double Sunday Shuffle win tournament, or tournament winner. Yeah, Mickle winning Sunday Shuffle twice and not even having the title.
That actually brings up a bit of a conversation, right? What is the double title, right? Because just getting the same title twice kind of sucks. But what would be the title? Like, ideally, it would be a title with a number that we increment if someone wins multiple of them. And
I don't know. I mean, dude, that Dev gives up the titles, right?
Yeah, but we have to think of the ideas.
Because usually, I mean, from past experience, as someone who's won, I was one of the people who won 2 of the Alphas tournaments back in before release. And yeah, I never got a second title, so that might just be the case here. He might just get the 1. I don't know. What's up to Dev?
Well, we'll figure that all out. But thanks for casting with me again, Windfall. This time I gave you even less notice. but thank you for being here. And anything you want to say before we end?
Yeah, as long as I'm free on Sunday, I don't mind hopping in and helping out. But yeah, this tournament was a blast to watch, blast to commentate. We got Purple Mickle Grand Finals once again, and we got Mickle being our first double winner of this this tournament series so far. But overall, just some pretty interesting results in this tournament as well. We had a couple of upsets. We got some new people in top 8. I don't think I've seen Dark in top 8 just yet, at least in a Sunday Shuffle. At least none of the ones that I was commentating. So glad to see some changes there. But overall, yeah, this is just this has been a blast. So very good gameplay from all the players in the tournament today, and I can't wait to see you guys next week.
Yep. See ya.